Well, you ask my wife that now, and she'd say that was pretty hectic.
Yeah, yeah.
There's an awful lot of years that I spent up front, not with the family. So,
Hmm.
but I tried very strenuously because I was called to bishop again in when I was in Saskatoon. So
Oh, okay.
I was bishop again there. But I tried very clearly that on Sunday I would do as much work as I possibly could. And so basically I was just gone all day Sunday.
Yeah.
And I tried to limit it to that as much as possible. And then we would go to, other things that were called out, like young men's and things like that. We were busy doing that kind of thing. So I would be there. The rest of the time, I kind of tried to stay away as much as possible just to be with the family.
I had the benefit of being able to home teach with each one of my four sons and over the years. And some of those were the good. I remember being out with Reuben. It would have been in Surrey Third. And Reuben needed a reward at the end of the week. So he got, a big gulp. And we'd finished and we were sitting on the side of the road and, okay, Dad, can we go to 7? Actually, son, I think we need to go back to Sister. And I mentioned her name because I felt by the Spirit that we should go back. He said, but Dad, we taught them on Tuesday, this being Thursday or something. I said, we need to go back. And I had a powerful feeling from the Spirit. As it turned out, she needed a blessing. She really needed the blessing, and we were able to give it. Or he was able to watch, and I was able to give it. And that taught me then, and I've mentioned it to someone else recently, to listen to the Spirit. Sure, you've done the numbers on your home teaching or ministering, but listen to the Spirit. It'll tell you what you need to do.
And that means also that you're away a lot from your wife and your children, and that's difficult. During that time, while I served as bishop, Jason was serving his mission, and I remember there was daily prayer and weekly fasting on his behalf, as you worry about your children when they serve a mission. But yeah, this is
they all, my wife and kids, all tell me that I was different then. I've always pretty much been loyal and dedicated to my family, but as a bishop, of course, as you well know, there's a huge time commitment to serve as a bishop. They never once was there any complaints in that regard in terms of my time that I spent on as a bishop. In fact, it was quite the opposite of that. My children were mostly independent at the time anyways, so it wasn't like I had a bunch of little kids running around.
His sons are all really proud of him in a good way, for being qualified to serve as a bishop. And they recognized his skill, his people's skill, and his love of the gospel. And they were all very supportive of him. He was always so kind and always lots of fun, and even tempered and not up and down. And so he could handle a lot of stress. So I knew that from his work and from our years prior, but our marriage prior to his calling. And I didn't ever see him ruffled or worried or stressed by the events of the needs of the ward. He would leave early on Sunday morning, come home late, after the meetings, and then he would have and make time to sit and relax. And I was always kind of amazed, but he was able to do that.
I always had all the support. My wife was very supportive. She's quiet, and she never complained if I was late or if I was busy or if I neglected some of the things at home. Sometimes maybe. The kids, they had the phase where my dad is the bishop. He's the most important person in the world, until they understood, as Lucas and Gus got older. I think they understood the concept of priesthood and the concept of serving. I was able to use them as my companions many times. Isabella was in primary still a lot, But she saw me. She gave me. She did a video. She created a video for me as a birthday present. Back then, when we had the little camcorders, not the big ones, but those little ones, around 2009, whatever. And her video was basically she wearing my jacket, my suit and a tie and a white shirt, and pretending she was me and doing things that I do. And then I still have that video, and then it's basically, there's a lot of bishoping, there's a lot of serving as she represented me. She's like, look, Dad, this is what I did for you. This is you. This is how I see you during the day. And there's a lot of waking up in the morning and shaving and then getting ready and putting a suit and a tie, getting the Bible, getting the Book of Mormon. So she did that. I think she paid attention. She more arm's length than maybe the boys, because I took the boys with me more, and they had scouting and those things.
My wife was very supportive. I was out quite a bit. It wasn't a 2-hour church like it is now, but I know even though it's a 2-hour church, still the bishopric stays a little bit longer. But on a 3-hour one, it was way longer. And with COVID, things have changed. You could do it on Zoom, and over those days, and I'm sure it's going to return to that. Just being in person in church, putting longer hours and meeting with members. And helping them. But I was away quite a bit from home, and Subhashni was then expecting with Jayesh. And so during when I served as a bishop, Jayesh was born, and that was quite amazing just to see the support of the members, knowing that I have a new child coming into the family. Just everybody was so supportive and loving. But my family was, and I give credit to my wife Subhashni for being so supportive and always encouraging me and telling me you should be out there doing this, and never complaining like I'm away too much or anything like that.
Yeah, so I mean, my wife's been a huge support. It's been really fun. I keep a little bit of candy in the office, so it's really easy to get my kids just to come by and say goodbye to me every week before going. And my wife was really great, and she always would sit in the same spot, kind of to the left of the podium, where I could see them every time. And I'm not saying it's a great thing to text during sacrament meeting, but usually we'd have something back and forth, just saying like, you look nice today, or great talk or something, and just made sure I could connect to them every week while we were in church. And it was always great seeing them in front of me. It's great seeing them grow up. Like now my son has grown up from, before he was in primary, and then now I get to see them start to pass the sacrament, and my daughter grow up and give talks. So yeah, they were young. They were like 11, 9 or 8 and 4, and now they're like, or 5, now they're 10, 16 and 14. And so a big change. And I think it's been really good for my family just to see me serving. I was serving before, but being much more engaged. It seems like it's busy, and it is busy, but I think it's been a great thing and helped us to have great experience together as a family. So overall, it's been really, really positive. Sometimes it's tough. Sometimes, there's things going on in the ward and people stress out, or people don't agree with what I want to do. And, my wife can feel that a little bit and can add a little bit of stress, but yeah, overall, it's been a great experience.